Oh, hey, hi there. How you doing? Hey, welcome to Caching in the Northwest. This is the official podcast of GeoWoodstock 18 right here in the great Pacific Northwest. Now, it's Thursday at 9 p.m. I'm Chris of the Northwest, and we're going to talk about geocaches and geocachers from here and all around the globe. So while you're slip sliding away, we'll be caching in the Northwest.
That's right. And tonight we're talking about kicking 2021 to the curb and
Outta
stomping
here.
it into the gutter. We're sick and tired of you, 2021. It's time for you to hit the road. About the only bright spot in 2021, that was Thursday night at 9 p.m. with these two guys. Yeah, that was fun. And we've had a lot of fun on Thursday night at 9 p.m. And let's see. Live audience, what do you think of 2021? Let us know, as we know you will. And we're looking forward to hearing about it. But first, well, we can't go anywhere without all three of us in here, right? Because it's time to bring in our lucky lemur. Should I just stop there? See what happens. No, of course. Yeah. Just leave him permanently like in the waiting room. They got good magazines. It's fine. Some say he doesn't know the same things you don't know. Others say he wanted to be a marionette, but there were too many strings attached. All we know is he's called Land Monkey.
Good evening.
Ooh.
Good evening. How are the magazines? Did I pay for the new subscriptions?
You know what? You didn't, but I brought my own book, so it's all good.
Yeah. And
Anyway.
you still don't know what's in it, do you?
I do, actually.
Oh, okay.
I do. Good to be here. And yes, Thursday nights at 9 p.m. are definitely a bright spot. Always good to be here hanging out with you guys and hanging out with all of our friends in the live chat. We've got tons of folks in there already chit-chatting away, and we're really looking forward to sharing some of their thoughts about maybe some great geocaching experiences and other memories. And, if there's anything about the podcast that they really enjoyed this year, we'd love to hear about it as well. So we're going to be going through a whole bunch of stuff shortly. But before we do any of that, a quick reminder, as always, that we appreciate the support of our patrons who help to keep this podcast coming each and every week. Thanks to Landsharks, one of our corporate Denali level sponsors. And hey, I got a message hot off the presses from Helen at Landsharks.
This just in.
Right. Direct from the newsroom. So what we learned is that the Landsharks are celebrating the arrival of their new Landsharks HQ geocoin, which is included in the Boxing Week sale. Wow. So it's on sale for Boxing Week. You have until January 3rd to take advantage of their biggest sale of the year. So check it all out at landsharks.ca. And of course, our other Denali level sponsor is Gold Country Geotourism. Visit exploregoldcountry.com. Plan your adventures. Know before you go. Pay attention to disabled caches, closed FSRs, but also plan for your next big adventures. The highways will open up again soon, and it'll be time to go explore Gold Country. Again, on Facebook, that's Explore Gold Country, and on the web, exploregoldcountry.com. And if you want to know more about supporting this little here podcast, let me tell you, you can just go to the Patreon link.
Just the way you were leading into that.
What have I ever possibly done on this podcast? Never mind. Okay. If you want to know more about supporting the show, click the Patreon link on the cachingnw.com a website.
Ooh, little lag there. Caught up.
Little extra suspense for the last podcast.
He's getting even.
Folks, we like Gold Country. We like Landsharks. We also like glows. What is a glow, you may ask?
What is a glow?
It works every time. This is fantastic. It's the geocaching log of the week. Whether you wrote it or whether you read it, we want to hear about it because great logs simply make geocaching better. Send an email or a recording to feedback at cachingnw.com. You can also call into 253-693-TFTC and show us how you glow. Now, this week's glow, I'm helping out Wits End a little bit because it's a longer glow, so I'm going to read the preamble. This was sent to us via email. It says, hello to the Caching in the Northwest crew. I've been enjoying your podcast for the past year. I don't think I've watched or listened to it live yet, but I subscribe and enjoy all the discussions on geocaching when I have time to listen, and I'm not caching. My GC name is Jim W67, and my wife is Berlin96. And we started geocaching in January of 2019 after reading a book called Maphead, written by Ken Jennings. I really enjoyed the book, and he talked about geocaching in one of his chapters. So we set out early, January 2019, and found one near our home in Central Park in Burnaby, BC, and we were hooked. Anyways, I have started to hide some caches near home and have even more fun hiding a variety of different caches near home. One of the caches called Central Park, Inner Darkness, the colon is important there, is GC9QNC. It's basically the middle of the park and the most remote part of this city park. It's a great little spot where you'll just find trees and some wildlife once in a while. One of the cachers I love finding their caches is Lazy Bones, who does a great job of making urban camo finds. So when I found this, when he found this cache of mine and wrote about it, I was very pleased.
It's a great intro, and welcome, Jim W67. We're glad you're listening out there. Maybe someday you'll pop in the live chat. And yes, I agree. It's fun to hide as well as find, and it is fun when somebody writes a nice log on your cache, and who knows, makes a glow-worthy log. Ooh. Like this one. Here's his log of my cache. He says, "What a cache!" I had a long day where I could feel the weight of the entire week starting to come down on me, so I decided I'd grab a quick cache on the way home rather than going way out of my way. This cache seemed like the perfect option. As I pulled up to the park, however, I started to second-guess my decision. There were a lot of cars and random muggles walking all over the place. The main paths were busy, and as I walked down the path, I repeatedly saw muggles feeding wildlife inappropriately. It frustrated me to no end, and in my anger, I walked past the entrance to the secondary path, not realizing it. A few hundred meters past, I spotted the alternate coordinates that would bring me to the trailhead, so I doubled back. I saw a chickadee with a big piece of bread in its mouth and nearly lost it. Got to the trailhead and didn't really register as a trailhead to me. Saw the trail, though, and started down it. Wow, it's nice to get away from the crowds of people and see the forest for what it is again. As I got farther from the path, the nature really opened up. What a lovely little spot this is. As I started to search for the cache, I heard some noises and looked up to a father and his two young sons mountain biking the secondary trail. Grrr. I wanted to yell that this is not how we keep our parks nice, but I kept myself from complaining out loud. A second later, an old man came sauntering down the path looking this way and that, and he just went off path and started forging his own trail. I kept my thoughts to myself as I watched him disappear from view. While all of this had been happening, I was reading past logs and saw the log about the cache being 15 or so meters southwest of where the cords had the previous finder. I adjusted my search accordingly, and the find was nearly instant after that. As I was alone in the forest again at this point, signing and replacing was quick and easy. The cache camo had been placed front in, which made it a more obvious find, so I adjusted it front out and covered it a bit to give the next finder an experience.
Ooh.
After replacing the cache, I decided to hunker down and try to be in the moment for a while, to let the week slide off of me. I sat on the ground with my back up against a nearby log and just experienced the forest. After a couple of minutes of pure bliss, I looked over to see a coyote walking past about 25 meters away. He was extremely cautious and was entirely oblivious to me, but oh boy was it cool to watch for those 30 seconds before he disappeared from view. A minute later, a second coyote, and also extremely cautious but oblivious to me, walked past. I was in no way worried, as it did not seem habituated to humans, but it was a nice reminder that sometimes we just need to stop and experience things quietly and calmly, and the adventures that follow will be memories forever. This cache gets a favorite for me for so many reasons. Camo, location, experience, amazing. So
How
there you go.
nice.
And the cache owner concludes, and he says, I hope you enjoyed the log. It's the main reason why I cache, for these interesting experiences. Thanks again for the podcast. And by the way, I think webcams should come back too. With it. So
There you go. Yes, we all
it's
miss
foreshadowing there.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, webcam caches. There you go. Well, Jim W67 and Berlin 96 and
Yeah.
Lazy Bones. So thank you all for
Yes.
the great glow. Glad that you listened to the podcast. I'm looking forward to seeing you at the next event.
That'd be great. Yeah. And thank you to all of those people that are out there somewhere commuting or jogging or whatever you're doing while listening to three goofy guys in your earphones that you haven't even contacted us yet, but you're out there and we appreciate you.
That's right. And we're in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Rent free. Like
That's
10
right.
years.
There's a decision you're going to regret in a few
There you
moments.
go.
Oh, hey, folks. Every week we have a great chat going on right here. It's lively. It's fun. It's exciting. If you want to join in, use the hashtag 2021 to add something to tonight's show. And of course, you can always use the hashtag FATAS to bring something up for the after show. That's where the letters FATAS come from. Yeah.
Is
Who
that what
knew?
it is?
Yeah.
I've always wondered.
There
Yeah,
you go.
I
Now
do
you know.
too. And I mean, FATAS. I mean, it sounds like the size of a drink you might be able to order at Starbucks. I'd like a FATAS,
Wow.
please.
I
Because,
would
you can't,
strongly suggest you say that the next time you go into a Starbucks.
because you
What do
can't
get?
order, small, medium, large. Oh no,
No.
they have to come up with their own name.
Yeah. Aqua
Sorry, did they
swooshy
say
or
that out
something.
loud?
Yes.
Hmm.
That was not your inside voice. All right.
Maybe
Dave,
you
we
could just
do
give
have a little-
FATAS as your name when they write it on the cup.
That's-
Oh, you gonna get a
oh,
name? FATAS.
And I would love to see how it's spelled. Okay, you know what? Next Starbucks visit, I am ordering a FATAS. and I'm
Mr.
gonna see what
FATAS? Yeah.
I'm going to see what happens. I'm looking forward to this.
It might come out spelled differently
You never know.
on purpose.
Like FATASS.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Oh, too funny. All right. Well, hey, we got a little bit of news on that note. It's a reminder that came from geocaching.com, and I think everybody probably got this newsletter. But if you haven't, well, hey, it's all those reach the peak points that you've worked so hard for this past month. Gone. January 3rd. The leaderboard resets. December wraps up, and it is time to move from North America and the ascent up Denali. Well, heck, we're going to head to Argentina, to the tallest peak in South America, which is Aconcagua, I think.
It's easy
Aconcagua.
for you to say.
No, it's not, and I'm probably saying it wrong, but I think it's Aconcagua. And I really want to find out how it's actually pronounced. If anybody knows, I look forward to hearing that. But in the meantime,
Gas station tuna says there should be an Aconcagua donor level. It'd be 770 meters more important than Denali.
there you go. Could happen yet. Let's see.
One never knows.
But yeah, so January 3rd, noon UTC, as they always do. That'll be the reset of the leaderboard. All your points go to 0. And from that point on, you're collecting your points up to, as per usual, your base smallest amount of points you can get, which is going to get you your first souvenir. That'll be the base camp souvenir, But if you want to get all the way up to the summit, you need 6,960 points, which sounds like a lot until...
It does. How could you get so many points?
Well, let me tell you, Chris.
Oh, please tell me.
There's a secret to it.
People always tell me things.
Ah. Yeah. What kind of things do people tell you, Chris?
Oh, it's usually not repeatable on the air, but I get told a lot.
Is that for
Let
the
me tell
after
you.
show?
I don't know if I can
Not
say
even.
it there either.
Well, hey, your most points this go around are going to be multi-caches, 775 points per multi-cache. Mysteries are 750. If you find a cache that has 15 plus favorite points, that's 725. And still in the 700s, just barely, earth caches at 700 points. So there you go. What you really want to target is earth caches, high favorite points, mysteries, and multis. That's going to get you there. No problem. But if you can't find any of those, hey, find a letterbox. That's 550 points. An adventure lab location is going to be 450, and anything.
Almost anything.
Almost anything other than an event or a webcam is going to get you 350 points. So any traditional you find, nanos and cedars, still worth 350 points. It's the only time you were going to get 350 points for a nano and a cedar. Let me tell you that much. Ooh, Aconcagua. What?
Aconcagua.
Aconcagua.
That's the name of the mountain.
That's the way I read it.
Pronounced according to Gas Station Tuna.
Oh, I'm going to take his word for it. Aconcagua. All right.
Now we've got several suggestions to help you reach the peak. Yeah. And if you're not challenged with the peak points, do it in feet, not meters. As GSM comes to.
Or do it like the rest of the world and do it in meters.
Yeah, there's that. Brian Lang says 9 multi-caches will earn you both souvenirs in January.
There you go.
Seabeck Tribe says about 3 adventure labs to reach peaks.
With all 5 stops.
With all 5 stops. This one, it's going to be 15.4 adventure lab stops. So you're going to need more than just the 3. But one other cache, about 3. And it's always about 3. Just FYI.
There you go. And Marcy, sorry, before we get there, just finding our way, says, well, they're heading out to do some challenge caches on Monday. That should help, because I think challenge caches are usually mysteries. And Marcy from Gold Country says, hey, maybe check out a geo tour. Great option.
With a little wink right there.
Yeah.
Check out a geo tour. I wonder what geo tour she could be referring to.
I'm going to take a wild stab at it and say Gold Country, but
that's a brilliant deduction.
But if you can't get there, any geo tour will do for your points. But definitely put Gold Country on your bucket list.
Yeah.
Well, folks, 2021. What a year. We kind of thought at the beginning 2021 is going to look back to 2020 and say, here, hold my beer. And I think they lived up to it. But on the podcast, we've had a great year. And that's all thanks to you. Thank you, listener.
Yeah,
thanks,
you,
Jim. Viewer.
I thought we were thanking Jim.
Oh. And thank you.
67.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thank whoever happens to hear that. Thank you.
But seriously, I agree with you. Like without the listeners and without the live audience and the great folks in the chat with their good sense of humor throughout the year and lots of interesting facts to share and whatever else, we wouldn't have a podcast if nobody listened. So I guess we would, just not a very good one.
Yeah, we would just keep talking to ourselves, wouldn't we?
IHAM says, well, 2021 is evil and must be destroyed. Gas Station Tuna says 2021 was a bunch of bunk.
Yeah. Yep.
And GSM times 2 says you're welcome.
There you go.
That may not have been the best order to read those in, but here's something that we need to read in order. We went through all the stats and picked out the 10 most downloaded shows. Now, this is downloaded, not necessarily watched on YouTube. Okay. It's funny. The stats are different from YouTube and audio.
Mm-hmm.
So
I wonder why that is. but maybe we can
know.
talk about that a little more later.
Yeah. So number 10 was episode 416, caching and camping.
Okay, that wasn't that long ago for us.
That was in July. Yep.
All right.
Number 9 is 394, exploring cam loops. That was way back in March.
Okay, and that was with Terry.
Yep.
Yeah. I remember that. That was good.
Episode number 8 is episode 403, episode forbidden. That was an interview with HQ.
Yeah.
I think that was
of course,
Monica
yeah.
from HQ. I think that was a pre-recorded interview we did. Yeah.
The 400 number episodes 400s were fun.
Those we had some fun with the naming on those ones for sure.
Yeah.
What are we at? Number 7 is episode 390, plan your caching goals, back in February.
That sounds like a JT Coffee episode.
It has to be a JT Coffee episode. Yeah.
Why would you ever say that?
Was there a little notebook involved? Yeah.
Oh, most definitely.
Yes. Next we have episode 407, Route 66 Adventure Labs. That's going to be with our friend GSM times 2.
Oh, yeah,
There he is in the chat. Yeah.
Yep. And
What number are we at? 5? We halfway
well,
through
you
the
know,
list?
I'm thinking there's more than 10 of them here. So I don't know. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is episode 393, cache maintenance, also done in February.
Yeah.
Episode
cache
420
every month.
Well, yes, you can. Episode 492. I'm sorry, 421, as people are typing. Updates from HQ with Rock Chalk.
I think I've heard of him.
That was in August.
Always fun to have him on the show.
Yep. What are we? 1, 2, 3, 4 is 398, doing winter safely with Adventure Smart, which was just about a year ago. It was in
389
January.
if you're dyslexic, but it's fine.
389.
389. Oh,
Yeah,
did I
and they'll that's Sandra from Adventure Smart, and she'll be coming back on the show again soon.
That's
Tradition.
It is tradition.
Oh, let's see. 1, 2, 3 is episode 404. Geocache not found. That was the
Story of my
DNF
life.
episode. Number 2 is 411. That's the 411 on mountain surfing.
See
With
what you did
Richie
there.
Rich.
We'll talk a little bit more about that later.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's 10.
the-
That was
I know.
you listed 10 items.
somehow the list goes to 11.
Oh,
It's
is that
because-
better?
Yes, it's better.
Okay.
So the number 1 downloaded episode
Yes.
is episode 396, hashtag geocache road trip on the Lincoln Highway with GSM times 2.
Wow.
Well, congratulations, GSM times 2. You have the honor of being the guest who is the focus of our number 1 most downloaded episode of 2021. There you go. May have even earned himself a return visit to the show.
You never know.
You know what? He could probably jump in right now. I think he knows how to do it.
He's probably got the link somewhere.
Probably so. Those are some great
Oh.
memories.
That's right. Now, Wits End, do you have some favorites that pop to mind?
No.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Yeah, of course. But it's really hard to choose a favorite, you know.
Yes.
It's easy for listing the stats. You just look at the numbers and see what it is. But choosing a favorite, that's like choosing a favorite co-host. Yeah, we all know. Never mind.
Thank you. I know.
There's a lot of episodes. Well, 51 prior episodes this year.
Yeah.
51 weeks and all that.
Yeah.
Usually people ask me about that. What's your favorite cache? What's your favorite episode? Whatever. I often just say, well, the last one we just did because it's the most memorable and I'm old. But, you know, in this case, that's not too far from the truth. I mean, that I'm old and that one of the favorites was the most recent one because we did a live event at the Landshark store not all that long ago. And it's right there at the top of my list because, well, event. And I have fun seeing and meeting existing listener. Well, they're all existing. Anyway, meeting listeners I've never met before. How about that? I can't tell you if the listener themselves are new or old, but they're all new to me when I'm memory this short.
And
But
they'll be
I
all
think-
new again to you.
That's right. Yeah, it's great. I get to meet new people all the time. I think, though, when we talk about favorite episodes, we're talking more about, because we did a live episode at that event.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're talking about just our weekly episode. So I picked out a few. 400 was a trivia game we did, Stump the Hosts. It was fun, even if I did spend most of the episode stumped. You think when people ask you questions about a podcast that you're part of hosting every week, you'd know more, but turns out no. Probably that short memory of mine again. 404, that was in the top downloaded, also mine, one of my favorites, Geocache Not Found. I had been looking forward to episode 404 for a long time, just because of the play on the name 404 Not Found in the web world. And, I can relate to it because I have a lot of caches I don't find.
And we'll let you in on a little inside scoop here. We did a lot of talking about this episode 404. What if we just never posted it? What if we went from 403 to 405?
That was considered.
It was a serious consideration.
Yeah.
The other option is, what if we post 30 minutes of blank audio?
Yeah.
To see who would listen through.
Yeah. So just to let you know, we talk about these things, and it was like, well, what if we did this? What if we did that?
It might look like we don't plan anything.
Yeah.
And well, I just show up and read what these guys plan. So I really don't plan much at all. But no, we do. We talk about a lot, and it's fun, and we look forward to bringing it up. And I'll throw out one more. 433 was caching at night, because that's kind of a unique aspect of geocaching that doesn't get discussed a lot. But some of my favorite caches have been night caches, and I think I learned that too. But like I said, events like the Land Sharks event, that's always what the topics. And when we talk about events and getting together, that's fun, because this is fun, meeting guests and listening to guests, having guests listen to us, because that works better that way as a host. But what would a podcast be by myself? I think I did that once.
You did, and you did an excellent job.
It wasn't great. I looked back trying to figure out what number episode that was, and I can't find it. Maybe somebody can.
I've done an episode by myself, and it's really difficult. It's difficult not to have the pauses, when somebody else speaks up and talks. So I end up just talking faster and faster throughout the episode, trying to get rid of the pauses. And then, I realize this hour episode is done in 33 minutes. And I'm okay, what have I done? I've screwed something up here. What did I forget? Oh no, I just spoke really fast, because dead air is awkward.
Yes, indeed.
It adds dramatic effect.
Oh,
It can. But it's definitely fun hanging out with you guys, hanging out with our listeners, and the live audience, and just being able to talk through this stuff. It's a lot of fun, and just hanging out and
Now,
chatting.
Land Monkey, what about you? What are your favorite episodes?
So we were doing some prep for this particular show, and I was going through the list, and I went back through. So we do keep a list of all of our previous episodes, and I started going through them. There's a couple of them where just from the title itself, I was like, huh. And I had to actually go to the YouTube page and take a quick look at the episode and go, oh, that's that one. Like, 400 in, they tend to blur even within a year.
Yeah.
But number one for me for this past year is a bit of a tie between our recent one, our live fun show we did at the Land Sharks event. That was we did things a little bit different. We had a live musician perform.
Yeah.
We had a mythical historical figure show up.
Never had that before.
There was
I'm
a
here
lot
every
of
week.
things we've never done before, and it was a lot of fun. We had some pre-scripted right off the beginning that was fun to go through, and and then just, had a riff and had the live audience like actually there, which was different and fun. And then chatting with everybody afterwards and meeting. And but I would say most of all for me, it was to finally be in the same room with you guys again. It's
That
just
was
been
fun.
way too long.
Yeah.
So that was was, just really hard to compete with. Kind of next to that is episode 400, the Stump the Hosts game show to celebrate our 400th episode. My daughter hosted the game show. Bri Lang was in there, our chat lackey, keeping score, which was a full-time job during that episode.
Where the questions are made up and the points don't matter.
That's it. Yep.
I think the points mattered, but
I don't remember.
That's all right. It was a lot of fun. But anyways, we had a real hoot with that one. Next up for me, episode 401, which was our April 1st episode. The fact that 401 was our episode on April 1st was pretty cool. We had a lot of cool symmetry this year.
Yeah.
I planned that like 10 years ago.
Well done, Chris. Well done. But that was our April 1st show. And every year we try, if we can get a show close to April 1st, we try and do something fun. And we had RCA 777 come on, and we were talking about the new GC codes that were going to be released. And that was a hoot.
And crowd chords.
And crowd chords. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Crowd chords. That was awesome.
It's always fun. Somebody always falls for the gag that they buy it hook, line, and sinker and go, wait.
Wait a minute.
I didn't even realize what day it was. Oh.
I hate you guys. That was a lot of fun. Next on my list was a fairly recent one. Actually, a couple of fairly recent ones are on my list, but we had Komikino, who I think is in the live audience tonight. See him there.
Yeah.
He and Craig Michelle, C. Michelle, joined us and talked about their experiences in making a GIF film, which was really interesting. And then to later be able to watch both of their films in the GIF and having spoken to them before and gotten some background on it really made the experience of watching their show, their videos so much better. It was great. Speaking of Komikino, my next favorite episode was episode 432 with and there he is, just finished page 25 of the geocaching comic, and he was on along with Joshua, the geocaching vlogger, on episode 432 talking about the geocaching comic, and it was really neat letting them talk about the whole idea and what to expect in it. They gave us we got a few exclusive teasers on our show of things that you can find in that book. And we got to watch Rich actually drawing during the podcast, which was pretty cool. Next one up for me was episode 408. That was Stephen Hoy, Destination Hikes author from up here in BC. Great guest. He's been following the show since then, which is so awesome. And just a great guy. Looking forward to having him back on the show again at some point in time. 439, which was the episode right before this one, also made my list. North Shore Rescue talking about the Survive Your Own Adventure video was fascinating to me. I just found that really interesting and amazing. So that was definitely a favorite for me. And then I guess other than that, just some guests who I always really enjoy having on the show. Rock Chalk, always fun and informative, and I don't know, I just always find it fun to have him on the show. JT Coffee, what's not to like? One of our favorite guests, crowd favorite every time she's on. So we'll be looking forward to having her back soon. Speaking of crowd favorites, Terry and Marcy, both who have been providing us great tips on exploring and geocaching in BC's interior. We already talked about GSM times 2, Scott, who's been a great guest a few times on the podcast.
And coming up.
And coming up again,
Mhm.
yeah. And speaking of coming up again, Sandra from Adventure Smart BC, another one of my favorite guests. So, but yeah, so many great guests we have on the show.
Yeah. Hey, I want you to know I wasn't trying to call anybody in particular out, but since he threw himself in the ring there, 3 M's in a row, says, I fell for all of 401. Jerks.
3 hams, you're a good sport.
You know, for us, that
Even if
makes
you
it
are a
worth
little
it.
slow.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
it was so
gullible.
totally worth it. Well, for me, episode 400 was so much fun. The Stump the Host.
Mhm.
And I think my top 3 have already been said, but episode 401, the April Fool's Day
Those are
one,
awesome.
that was, we're getting better at this. And that one really came off smooth, I'll just say. It was really hard for me to go back and choose because my personality says, okay, I've marked that off my list. This episode done. It's out of my mind. On to the next one. And if you come up and ask me, hey, what did you talk about last week on the podcast? I may not actually remember.
Yeah.
Because I literally put it out of my head and focus what's on next to a point where it's like, oh, wait, we did. Wait, we had this guest. Okay, now I know what we're talking about, right? So going back and reviewing the list is good for me. GSM times 2 says you're becoming better liars. Is that a good thing?
It means we could have a future in politics, but
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a good thing. I also liked episode 411, mountain surfing, with Richie Rich. I thought that was well done.
Yeah.
So well done.
Yeah, it's just such a neat. I mean, it wasn't really geocaching, but I met him geocaching, and just the whole idea of the flying the drones and being able to share the information he has and being able to see some of that footage. My goodness, that is just some mad skills.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So if I had to pick 3, it's tough, Yeah, it's like picking your favorite child. You have one, but you just don't want to tell the others. Wait.
Yeah, I couldn't narrow it down to 3. Obviously, I had a whole bunch of favorites, but
yeah, and it's funny because if I were to go back tomorrow and pick, they might be different. But
yeah,
there's
exactly.
so many great ones, and it's fun that we had so many same choices in there.
So this will probably be one of my favorites for next year.
Well,
no, it can't be, can it? No, because it's in this year. Oh man.
Well, our awesome chat, we always talk about them. GSM times 2 says, how does it feel that all the top 11 top downloaded episodes had guests? And
that means we're really good interviewers.
There you go.
Yeah, and I'm not that interesting. I'd much rather have a guest on than that. But speaking of guests, we had some great guests in 2021. Sandra from Adventure Smart BC was on talking about winter safety, paddling safety, just safety in general.
Safety. Yeah.
Safety. Yeah. Geocaching safety, podcasting safety,
outside safety, inside safety,
Yeah.
safety.
The whole safety gamut.
Safety
and
pins.
Yeah. And I don't think we can talk about safety too often. One little mistake is all it takes. And, a trip to the ER, which is not on the agenda, happens.
No. I have safety pins even.
Yeah. I saw that.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I like this comment from GSM times 2. He said, what we had is a lot of variety.
Yeah, that's true.
And I would agree with that. I hadn't thought about it from that perspective, but it's a good point. Thank you, GSM times 2.
It hadn't occurred to me either. So that's great. Another guest, as Jay mentioned, one of the crowd favorites and the host favorite is JT Coffee, our super caching planner. If you see JT Coffee, there's a notebook not far away. So, yeah,
Next time I see her, I've got to get it and hold it.
Yeah.
And look through and go, oh, can I do this? I think I could do this. No, I can't do this.
Yeah. She hosted an event that I attended, and I signed a logbook. It was a notebook.
Was it?
Was, yeah.
Huh.
Shocking.
What's the
know.
chances?
I
But
know.
it wasn't
I know.
the notebook.
Well, yeah. No, never. I would not be privileged to sign the notebook. We also had rapper, geocacher, president WSGA, MC3 Cats. There you go. Talked about all kind of WSGA topics. We had Spot the Ape being just one of them.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of great stuff out there coming up on the horizon. You just watch that. And we even had.
Is he a good rapper for Christmas presents? Is what I want to know.
It's possible.
Okay, I might use him next year.
Yeah. And we had some great guests from Geocaching HQ. I'm always honored and thrilled that people from HQ take the time to be here on Thursday night with us.
Yeah.
We had Sven talking about GC8 November Echo Alpha Tango. It's a long acronym. It's kind of neat, but there should be an easier way to say it. But yeah, GC8 neat. Keep things neat and tidy.
He's my favorite Sven.
Mm-hmm.
Is he?
Mm-hmm. I've told him that.
That's good. I mean, there's a lot of Svens out there, so
Mm.
Sven's a good guy. He's a lot of fun to hang out with him. Was a great guest as well. Yeah, I mean, we've got. There's more. There's even more.
But wait, there's more.
Back to this whole.
Now how much would you
A
pay?
lot of variety. Exactly. We mentioned Terry earlier, but Terry Hadwin was on talking about exploring Kamloops. We've had TW Lair on to talk about Cache Tourno, as Chris likes to say.
My favorite Italian app.
There you go. We're looking forward to having her back on at some point soon as well, because I'm sure things have been updated and improved in Cache Tourno
All the time.
Looked at it last. From the Northwest had Avro Air on, giving us some down low about trackables. That was a lot of fun. Mentioned it before, our most popular downloaded show was GSM times 2. He's been on a few times talking about adventure labs as well as boating safety previously. And but mostly lately it's been the adventure labs experiences. We've also had Land Sharks, another one of our sponsors, on the podcast. Talking about that. Actually, it was kind of a fun episode talking about activating trackables, because that is one of those things that it's like everybody knows how to get started on it,
Right.
but then you run into wow, which option do I pick now? So it was actually a lot of fun going through the whole process with them and having them walk us through that whole concept. And of course, Land Sharks and myself will be providing and have provided and will be providing soon some more GeoWoodstock updates. So
Nice.
forward to that.
Yeah, we're less than 30 hours away from the year of GeoWoodstock 18.
Indeed, we are.
The whole activating trackables came up because as host, we were trying to activate trackables. Well, wait, should we do this? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do this. How come
It's
I don't
the
know how to do
advantage of having a podcast is you're like, I don't know how to do this. Well, let's ask somebody to come on the podcast and then we'll know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's selfish. We will use it for our own education.
Yeah.
Oh, we've had some great guests. And you've said it, our most downloaded episodes are because we have great guests. So RCA 777, the April 1st new geocache codes. We had Annika from HQ, the Science of Discovery Promotion. Yeah. Stephen Hoy, we mentioned him, the author of Destination Hikes. He's got 2 books out now. Is he working on a third? He better be working on a third.
I'm not sure, but I will pretty much guarantee he must be.
Yeah, he must be. We mentioned Richie Rich earlier on mountain surfing with the FPV drones. That's the first person view. And then one of my favorite, and yes, I like them all, but the Travel Bugs and Bugsy Travels. Number one, those 2 names together are hilarious that they didn't know about the other, and they came out that close. It was the music of geocaching, and that was such a fun interview to do. I actually had to edit it down a bit to fit it into a normal time slot for a podcast. But those guys, they get along so well. They're real friends, and having friends talk together, it makes a difference, right? If you have two guests talk to each other that don't know each other well, it could be good. It could be very educational. It could be very informative. But when you have friends, it really shows, and there's a deeper level there. So
Yeah, that was a good episode. That was
Mhm.
that was interesting.
Keeps your toe tapping. Well, don't stop talking now because there's still more guests we can talk about. Like, well, Marcy from Gold Country.
oh,
Can't wait to get up there someday. They've had their struggles up there in Gold Country, but they're still.
mhm.
An
This
awful
was a
lot of-
tough year for Gold Country,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're another one that would like to just kick 2021 out the door. And don't let
Yeah,
the door
but
hit
you
you with a
wanna
low
talk
split you.
You want to talk about a tough bunch of folks
Yes.
Oh man.
who
Yes,
are
they're
just-
survivors
Yeah,
and thrivers up there. So
and
in
make-
spite of all the
making it-
difficulties and hardships, they're still going strong. There's a lot of awesome geocaches that are still going strong. And
but definitely looking forward to another trip up there with you guys.
yeah. We had Nick from Cashley
Mm.
talking about, well, Cashley and Wayne
Oh, yeah.
Markley.
And Wayne Markley.
Yeah. Yeah. Great apps. I don't know what they look like on my phone because my phone just doesn't. I can't.
I
find
showed
him
you
in
on
the-
my phone.
I can't find him. I said it doesn't look on my phone. I know what it looks like on your phone.
Okay. Come
No
on
matter
over.
How
We'll-
much I
we'll
searched
use
the
my
Google
phone
Play
and go
Store,
see-
I just can't find it there.
Huh.
As
Maybe
you guys
it's
have
not searching
mentioned
right.
before too, we had C. Michelle and Komakino talking about making a GIF film. We had Rock Chalk, always fun to just sit back and let Rock Chalk and Land Monkey battle it out. Because, when those
And
two
we
are
may
around.
egg them on just a little.
Oh, well, a little bit. Yeah. You can just
Like
light the
you
match,
need
but-
to.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need to throw any fuel on the fire. Just maybe throw a spark, and it's off to the races. So yeah, that's always fun. I just have to sit back and enjoy the, yeah. And we're gonna wrap up with Ari 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Talking about GIF from the HQ perspective, how HQ puts GIF together.
Yeah, that was neat as well, and that's one of the things that when we've had some of these guests from HQ on the show, it's really neat because we get a different perspective on the game
Mhm.
from the way that they look at things, including Marty, who was on very recently from the HQ product team, and we learned all about the secret warehouse. That was pretty cool.
That was.
I still haven't
but-
been there yet. I gotta get up.
Yeah,
Next
but
time you're working downtown, we'll go up over there, look for it.
there
Okay.
you go. We were talking about Komakino before and having him and Josh on the show, the geocaching vlogger, talking about that comic book project, which, if I'm not mistaken, today is the last day to get in on the Kickstarter. So if you haven't
Mhm.
yet, you better get
Do
on
it now.
Yeah.
Go there now. And if
Do it
you're
now.
listening to this after the fact, too late.
I
So
think
sorry.
but we'll get Komakino
Womp
to let us know in the live chat what the situation is there. But also recently, Scott Burks was on talking about geocaching day, amongst many other things, because Scott Burks doesn't just talk to you about one thing. He is just a fun guy to talk to. I've always had tons of fun hanging out with Scott. 3 hours left. So right now you got 3 hours left till midnight Pacific.
There you go.
No
Actually, that'd be
pressure.
1 in the morning. 3 hours would be 1 in the morning, but Pacific. But do it. Get on it. And our last guest was Ian from North Shore Rescue, when we talked about the Survive Your Own Adventure video. And what I didn't realize when I was setting the whole thing up, the interview with him, is that Ian had also worked on the North Shore Rescue documentary series. So
Mhm.
then we were able to talk about that a little bit during the interview as well, which was awesome.
That was great.
So yeah, lots of guests. My goodness. Yeah,
know.
lots of variety.
Lots of variety. I was just gonna say, yeah, that was a great observation.
Yeah, exactly. So we've looked at geocaching from so many different angles. There's so many facets to this game that we play, right? Perhaps you're just into finding traditionals. You could be into adventure labs, you could be into coins, you could be into, you know, collectibles. It's just there are so many different aspects of the game that it's fascinating. Now, audience, you've thrown in a bunch of your favorites. And a lot of this, you know, is like, oh yeah, that was a great one. Oh, I like that one too. Um, you know, Gas Station Tuna still doesn't understand how the collectible, not collectible thing works.
Join the club.
Yeah. Marcy says the best moment was attending the GIF and seeing geocaching friends again.
Yeah.
Day before that atmospheric river thing.
Oh yeah. We won't talk about that.
Yeah. So TL Lair, or TW Lair. It's just so many things. I can't keep up with all the. Oh yeah, that was a good episode too.
Yeah, there's been a lot of great chat tonight.
Yeah. So if you in the live chat want to toss out your favorite episode, or just, you know, oh, the episode with JT Coffee, or, you know, Stephen Hoy, whatever. While you're doing that, I'm going to read through the most watched episodes on YouTube, which is a slightly different list.
Okay.
So coming in at number 10, and there are only 10 on this one, okay? Not 11, even though, you know, 11 would make it so good. No. Number 10 is episode 425, Making a GIF Film with C. Michelle and Komakino. 398, Geocaching is for Everyone. Coming in at number 7 is What's New with Cache Tour and TW Lair. Hey, look at that. 400, Stump the Host. Number 5, Plan Your Caching Goals with JT Coffee. Number 4, am I right? No, I'm at number 5. They're not numbered. I'm just guessing.
You,
as I
you
go
skipped
along.
8, I think. So yeah, okay. You're back up now. Number 5 now.
Okay. Number 5 is GC8 Neat with Sven. Number 4 is the geocaching road trip on the Lincoln Highway with GSM times 2. Episode 414, Things Can Only Get Better. Number 2 is episode 407, Route 66 Adventure Labs with GSM times 2. And the favorite on YouTube is episode 401, episode unauthorized.
Interesting. I wonder if that's just because of the number.
It could be. I don't know. I found it interesting that there were different, you know, and that has to be because of the consumer, right? So I think we get a different consumer on the web or on YouTube than we do from downloading.
I think so, but yeah, it's interesting that the metrics are different.
They're similar.
Mm-hmm.
There's some
bit
similarity, but there is definitely some difference there as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. Well, you know,
Awesome list.
I agree.
Yeah, he was in half of it.
Yeah.
His GSM times 2.
It's not biased, but
Well, not just podcasting, but geocaching in general. I think we also have some favorite geocaching memories of 2021, and I'll run through them relatively quickly. It's getting a little late here, but you know, it's the last episode of the year. We don't have time limits.
You got tomorrow off anyway.
Yeah. I got the rest of the year off. So
I'm not working the rest of the year.
yeah, some of my favorite geocaching memories of 2021 were events because, well, we could have events.
Mm-hmm.
That was huge. And I surprised JT Coffee showing up at an event she hosted. Like I said, I signed her notebook. That was a lot of fun. It's just a small little event outside of HQ. I didn't realize it until I looked back over the year, but I found not one, but 2 webcams in the same year, which is hard to do nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And as our Glow contributor mentioned, he'd like to bring webcams back too. And coincidentally, both of those were on islands. Took a ferry to an island.
Coincidence?
Found
I
a
don't
webcam.
think so.
Maybe not. The last one was on Vancouver Island, and that was with RE54321 on the way to that Landsharks event. You know, wrapping up my favorite caches of the year with an event, because Get to see all you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we don't need to keep going on about the drama of 2021, and certainly from a work perspective, it's been draining enough as it
Yeah.
is. But geocaching has definitely been my escape, and this podcast, of course, from dealing with everything else in 2021. And that live event at the Land Sharks was definitely a highlight of the year. You know, again, an event, so just that alone. But being able to hang out with you guys was awesome. And then, of course, all of our listeners who showed up, the folks we got to talk to before and after the show, and there were Nanaimo bars. So, I mean, it just keeps getting better and better, right? So that was awesome. That was a lot of fun. A highlight for us is there was a point in time where we could travel briefly in 2021, depending on where you were going. And for us, we had planned a trip to Bermuda, and it was an amazing trip. It was 10 days. We really needed to get away, and we got away and really got away. I'm actually just starting the process of starting to edit the videos for that. So early 2022, those videos will come out on my YouTube channel. And you know, that was just an amazing trip and a lot of fun and just super relaxing and beautiful place to be. So that's a big highlight for me. And then other than that, I would say getting out and caching with our friends, going on hikes. We did tons of hikes this year, all kinds of great places. Not so many road trips as we would normally do, although we did get a road trip in at the tail end of the year. That's also a video I'm working on that's going to come out very soon. But yeah, just lots of great stuff like that. Good memories, good friends, good times. Chris, how about you?
You know, my best geocaching memories are with people. So the Victoria trip, the trip that we just did, days out with Wits End and days out with MC3 Cats, you know, just those were a lot of fun. Those were very memorable times. You know, the Victoria trip, oddly enough, that weekend was about the only vacation we took this year. So, you know, I took my wife along, even though she's not a geocacher. She really enjoyed the entire trip. And the real takeaway for me on this is she now knows how to make Nanaimo bars, and we've had them since in our own house.
Ooh.
So, you know,
how'd they turn out?
That was totally worth it. It was fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah. My dad is like, "Oh, these are really good." She's like, "Oh, these are really, really not that hard to make. I can make them for you. Can make them? Yes, please."
That's awesome.
All right. Well, what's a wrap-up year-end episode without stats? You know, everybody loves charts and graphs, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Especially
Where's
kids.
stats, please?
Let's throw out the stats by what type of device people use to consume this podcast.
Interesting.
The most popular one. Well, should we start at the bottom and go up?
Yeah, let's do
We
that.
actually had 8 people that watch on a game console.
8 views. I don't know about 8
views.
people.
Oh, that's true. These are 8 views.
Yeah.
So it could be one person watched 8 episodes,
So
or
not
watched
only
one episode 8 times.
not only do I find it interesting that somebody watched the podcast on a gaming console, the fact that the whatever system, Chris, you got these stats from actually identified and tracks that, I find fascinating.
That was YouTube.
Oh, okay.
So these are views. These are views.
So these are for the video.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident whoever watched on a game console before they watched it went and then inserted the cartridge to watch the podcast episode.
The Caching in the NorthWest cartridge.
Mm-hmm. Yes, of course. Moving up to 341 views were on a tablet. roughly double that, 715. We're on a television. I think we have people in the live chat that watch us on a television. Almost 2,000 views, 1,974 views on a mobile phone, and over 2,000, 2,536 views on a computer. So the full browser experience there.
Gas Station Tuna says YouTube for me, but what device do you watch it on YouTube?
Yeah,
There you go, laptop.
On a laptop. Okay, so there's a computer. There you go.
Komakino says I watched a repeat episode on my Xbox using the YouTube app.
Did
It
you
was
watch it
him.
8 times?
Now we know.
There you go. You set a stat.
There you go.
The operating systems that ran those YouTube, Chromecast, people 146 views on Chromecast devices, Roku 191, Macintosh 310.
I was surprised how low that was.
Yeah. Android, people watch it on their phones or their Android tablets, 1,005. iOS, so I think that includes iPhones and iPads, etc.
Okay.
That's 1,395. And good old Microsoft Windows, 2,118 views with the Windows OS.
There you go. All right. Well, I think we're running late, so we should probably look at wrapping it there. Chris, what do you think?
Sounds good. Let's see if we've got any of we talked about some of those. I'm looking at the 2021 hashtags. Thanks for using that. Guys, thanks for using the hashtags. That really makes it easy.
Yeah.
GSM times 2 says JT Coffee is my favorite guest. She's so enthusiastic and always well prepared. He also said we could do mega events in 2021. Going caching was a lot of fun. A lot of people there at different megas. And folks, we appreciate you. Thank you for joining us in 2021. We want to see you in 2022. That's just next week. Just hold on.
We want to see you soon.
You can get 2 souvenirs in the next 2 days, too.
There you go.
That's right.
We also want to take a moment to thank Landsharks and Gold Country Geotourism, our corporate Denali level sponsors. Landsharks.ca is the outdoor adventure and geocaching store. Check them out online and their shipping orders daily for absolutely amazing geocaching adventures. Well, check out exploregoldcountry.com and make your plans to visit Gold Country. We also want to thank our faithful Denali level supporters, of course, Landsharks.ca and Gold Country Geotourism, but also Team Squirrel, Groovy Owl, and Cachly, the geocaching app. If you'd like to know more about supporting the show, click the Patreon link on the CachingNW.com a website.
Just like Boomer365 did.
And Donners.
And Wino Seattle.
And Teus.
Tick Magnet.
Dora Moore.
On a boat.
Ari, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Kid Vegas 19.
B Pendragon.
Sega Hove.
Green Words.
He's there.
LG 9000.
Peach of Washington, or whatever state she's in now.
She gets around.
Kennel Barb.
Skyhawker.
GSM times 2 in the
You,
chat.
Dak.
Team Noltex.
CRS 98.
Logwork.
You Talks to Rocks.
Alarobrick.
Hey, one of my favorite geocaching travel buddies, MC3 Cats.
The Camp Clan watching on a TV there.
There you go. And, having your drink spill over a little too much, it's Wet Coaster.
Just finding our way.
Kev MacD.
We love to say this one. It's the worst lunch, but the best caching name, Gas Station Tuna.
The Geo Travelers.
Horscott.
And already planning ahead to not get fooled again. It's 3 hams in a rows.
He'll be watching the date. How about Ackerdock up in Alaska?
Sprouter.
Kitty Quest.
Genies.
Limax.
Subway Mark,
Keats 94,
Fairwood West.
the Seebeck Tribe,
GeoNav Pros. There are no
Broncos fan
amateurs.
for life.
Drexer Zero,
And M-Nerve.
Ah,
Thank you guys.
Thanks,
Hey.
everybody, for the support all year long. We really appreciate it.
I like this one. Pete should just use her first name, like Elvis, Cher, and Pink.
she's right up there with them. Yeah, she's just as famous.
Peach.
That's
I
it.
like it.
Oh, should we do our question?
Sure,
You know, the listeners asked some things.
it's the last time you can ask it in 2021.
That's right. And now you get to ask some things and we get to answer. Okay, quick question. Do you guys stay up till midnight on New Year's Eve? Watch the fireworks or the ball drop? What do you watch in Canada? I mean, we watched the Times Square, New York. We watched the tower here. Come on.
We call it the Space Needle.
The Space Needle, the tower, the pointy thing in Seattle. We watched that one.
Yeah, we watch for the moose to crash through the beaver dam. That's the Canadian equivalent. So it's it's all timed, and it's quite the production to see every year.
Well, you got to get a trained moose.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
No, I mean we watch pretty much the same stuff you guys watch. Some folks watch the Space Needle, some watch the Times Square. I know in Toronto they usually have a show thinking that the rest of Canada watches that, but only people in Toronto watch it.
See, that's the inside information I was looking for right there.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. We know that something happens in Toronto and the rest of the country doesn't care. So yeah, that's about, I know. I stay up, but I don't usually watch much. I don't really go in for the New Year's Eve shows, per se. I more like to just stay up and, enjoy a beverage and, under normal circumstances, maybe hang out with friends. This year it'll be Laura and I. But yeah, we'll still have fun.
The older I get, the more of those people on the evening shows, I don't even know who the performers are anymore.
That's true.
Yeah.
And that some of that's annoying. Just, yeah. Oh, go ahead, Wits End. Do you stay up? I know
I
the
stay up
answer.
till midnight UTC.
Okay.
And ring in the official start of the new year. And but then I'm back awake at midnight local time because
it's noisy.
I'm outside. Yeah, I'm outside city limits here in the county, and my neighbors have more dollars than cents and like to spend them on explosive devices.
The same here, even though we're in the city. Yeah. The pointy thing.
Yeah.
Thanks, GeoNav Pro.
Some say he can't remember the name of the Space Needle. But
Oh, yes. GSM times 2 says we watch a ball drop at 9 p.m. and I'm in bed well before midnight, getting sleep before the 101 on 101.
Nice. There you go.
So
it's easier if you drop a 0.
It's true. It's 11 on 1-1.
Yeah.
But it's not the same.
Okay.
Gas Station Tuna says we stay up. Sometimes we argue. Sometimes we have fun. It's too late, honestly. It should happen 3 hours earlier.
There you go. Well, and it can.
Mm-hmm. Marcy says I usually end up watching the back of my eyelids. Yeah. Three Hams says, well, I can't do it. Three Hams says in Vancouver, I usually watch a Seattle New Year's Eve countdown.
There you go.
Starcasher says, do they replay the New York
Yes.
drop at midnight your time yet?
Yeah.
So we always know that
Chris fell
midnight
asleep.
did come.
Oh, there he is.
But
yeah.
What happened?
Your video froze there for a second. It just looked like he nodded off.
Indeed.
No, I can't stay up that late. I'm tired now.
Yeah.
No, I usually stay up till midnight. Folks, thanks for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. Your support helps keep the quality shows coming. And if you like this sneeze, It didn't happen. If you like this show, please click the Patreon link on the cashingnw.com website. If you didn't like the show, let us know what you want to talk about. In either case, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and more. Subscribe or even give us a review. Maybe a thumbs up. You can call 253-693-TFTC. Leave us a comment, ask us a question, or
Send Chris a Kleenex.
yeah, send me a Kleenex any time of the day or night. I put something in there and it auto-corrected, and I have no idea what I was going to.
I'm trying to read what you wrote in there. I can't make sense of that either.
Help us.
Or help us let it go
Let
any
it
time of the
go.
day or night.
Yeah.
And of course, you can email us at feedback@cashingnw.com. Join us live every Thursday at 9 p.m. Pacific for a live show and chat. The show is produced by Chris Senfenauer, Jim Paulwitz, and Jay Kennedy. It's licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license, copyright 2021 by Chris Senfenauer. And folks, stay tuned for... I wasn't ready.
The after show.
It'll be the last time you can give that copyright announcement.
That's right.
Well,
I just wanted to let you know that we read those live every week. It's not recorded. It would kind of make sense if we just hit a button and, played off the recording, but I don't do that.
no. We bring you all kinds of messed
I really
up
thought I was going to sneeze there. I'm like,
podcasting.
oh, not now. Come on. But out of sheer will, I stopped the sneeze.
There you go. Hey, before we jump into the other FATAS stuff, there was a message here from Marcy that I thought was great. And she says, thanks for all your kind words, thoughts, and encouragement during this year, and all the best to everyone in 2022. And thank you, Marcy. And we're all rooting for Gold Country and just super looking forward to coming back up to visit. All right.
Yes, we are.
We got lots of FATAS here.
Yeah.
Well, they're talking about geocaching resolution and goals, a couple of them.
Okay.
Did you reach them? And Starcacher reached all his 2021 goals.
Congrats.
Completed a level 20 pyramid challenge. I don't know. Is that
not sure
is that
what
like
that
a
is.
pyramid scheme
I was
where
going
you
to
get
say,
people
did he
to
make
find
a lot of
caches
money off
for
of the
you?
people?
Round 6 and 7 of the My Finds calendar fill and a mystery calendar fill.
And he says the level 20 pyramid challenge is having one caching
Oh.
day with exactly one find in your history, 2 caching days with exactly 2 finds, all the way to 20 caching days with exactly 20 finds.
I see. Okay, that makes sense.
Yikes.
Cool. Well, that's quite the achievement.
Yeah.
You're going to need a notebook to keep track of that and
I
what
know
days you
somebody
have
that
to
can
go
help
out and
with that.
find what number of caches.
Indeed.
Let's see. Did anybody else watch the NORAD Santa tracker on Christmas Eve? Komakino says the Santa trackers are funny. The NORAD one and the Google one show Santa in different locations. Well, he moves just that fast.
That fast, yeah.
Is that what
Yeah,
it
we had it in one of the feeds at work. I worked on Christmas Eve, and so I put it up on one of the monitors in the office and had it up at work all day.
Fun.
Bryling wants to know if we're selling Caching in the Northwest branded notebooks.
Ooh.
We should be. I tried to get JT Coffee to produce custom notebooks for each one of our listeners, and she said no. No, she didn't. She didn't say no. She didn't answer the question.
She just didn't say anything.
She probably politely evaded it.
Which is kind of the same thing. Oh, that's too funny. Well, we can keep badgering her. We'll see what happens.
The chat lackey says it's time to go.
Okay. Well,
But
before we do that,
that means we can't talk anymore this year.
Sure we can.
It's so sad.
We don't have to do what he says.
yeah,
Oh yeah, that's right.
you've got the button, Chris.
Here, we'll just remove him. Uh-oh. My mic is being muted on me.
We could do worse. We could bring him in when he's not expecting it.
There you go. That'd be much worse. Then he'd be sorry. I was going to say a FATAS from me is I've got a new video that's going to come live tomorrow morning. So it's a bit of a recap of some of my favorite moments from my YouTube channel from 2021, but also some teasers for stuff coming out in 2022. So encourage people to take a look at that. Hopefully they'll enjoy that. But yeah, good stuff. It's
Seebeck Tribe says, bring him in.
there you go. I don't know.
Seebeck Tribe also says, I put on my calendar what days I need to get a cache, so when I'm in town, I can get them.
Ah,
You know, you should have a little notebook you carry around for that. That'd be a brilliant idea. I just came up with that.
wow. Good thinking,
just
Chris.
right now. Yeah. You're welcome. I don't know what this is about GCD.
Guess we're done.
Yeah. That we didn't talk about that this year, so it doesn't matter. It no longer is effective. Hey, folks, thanks for joining us this entire year. And until next year, get out and get caching in the Northwest.